the next one, I kind of expanded upon that theory of an idea of kind of this what did I call it? The connecting theory. I think it's pretty crap, but as in the idea that you could kind of each dimension technically is not lines connected but layers connected rather instead, and so you get kind of layers of the different objects, and so fourth dimension could be layers of three-dimensional objects kind of overlapping each other. I don't know, that's just something I had the idea of. Okay, so just screw it. The next theory, because we have to rapidly move on. Basically, the next theory is the zoom theory. Zoom. Oh wait, quickly before we go on. Actually, I'll just do the zoom theory first. I really don't like this because it only applies for the third dimension. Basically, that's a three-dimensional object, as you can see. And if you go far enough away, it actually looks like it's two-dimensional with the ground and things. I don't really like this theory because although it kind of makes sense that the fourth dimension, it kind of suggests that the fourth dimension would be a lot smaller and we wouldn't be able to see it because we're so big. It kind of depends on the proportions of the object in comparison to how far away you are, rather than just how far away you are. So if the object's big, and technically speaking, you should be able to see it in the fourth dimension anyway, no matter how kind of far away you are, unless you're like really, really far away. And also the fact that it doesn't work for other dimensions. As you can see, this two-dimensional object, if you move far enough away, it'll eventually become zero-dimensional, but it doesn't like layer down to the first dimension first, and so I just don't like that. And the problem with these theories so far, what I've seen, is they only give an image of what the fourth dimension can look like, and obviously seeing, this is what I was going to get to before, seeing something in the fourth dimension obviously doesn't allow us to comprehend it properly, due to the fact that, you know, due to the fact that, oh, damn it, I'm running out of time as well. It just doesn't allow us to, kind of actually experience what a fourth dimensional object would be like. It doesn't give us the principles or the physics behind them. It just gives us an image of what they look like, which is obviously why it's so difficult to understand, even though we've got these images of the fourth dimensional object. Because also we can't physically create these to observe them. We can't observe them anywhere apart from on a computer, and as you know, a computer displays a two-dimensional image, so it's actually a very bad depiction of the fourth dimension, isn't it? And so it doesn't really work very well. That's what I was going to say earlier. As well as the net idea, it's only coming up with an image. And so this brings us on to a theory that I came up with, or at least I think I came up with. Technically speaking, you know, someone else could have come up with this as well, but I call it the perspective theory. Basically, it's the idea that if there's a zero-dimensional object, which technically you wouldn't be able to see because it's got zero dimensions to it, but I'm just suggesting that if it was a visible concept of a two-dimensional object, you can't see that from the same dimensional perspective on zero dimensions because you'd be inside it. And to actually see it, you have to move out to the first dimension to actually visualize the object. And actually, if you look at it from another object, like a one-dimensional object, if you're on the same perspective line as the one-dimensional object, you can't actually see it from that one-dimensional perspective. You have to move out into the second dimension. And this actually carries on into the second dimension, and you can't view it unless you're in a third-dimensional perspective. And this gives me the idea that actually we're looking at these actual three-dimensional objects from a fourth-dimensional perspective already. Ooh, this is quite interesting. The fact that in order to actually see this three-dimensional object, we're viewing it from a fourth-dimensional perspective. And my idea of what this fourth-dimensional perspective is that it is the second eye. As all the kind of weird things have been going on about recently, it's all about this kind of second eye 3D glasses bullshit. But it's basically, that is basically it, the second perspective. This, because as you saw before, this other perspective can be from can go anywhere, can't it? It can be anywhere within the object, and this kind of one eye can be here and a second eye can be anywhere, and we'd be able to see it three-dimensionally. And of course, you will be complaining right now, oh wait, I can see this three-dimensionally, and it's only got one perspective, doesn't it? One eye kind of point. And I would argue to that, you're not really seeing it in the third dimension, are you? It's still just a 2D image. If I stay still, these kind of different areas would all seem exactly the same distance from each other, and this is why you get kind of optical illusions like this one, where they look like they're the same size, but they're blatantly not. And things like, obviously, leading to the impossible triangle, where obviously, as you can see, the two things link up like the impossible triangle would link them up. But of course, we know that it's physically impossible to happen. That's how you get those illusions. And so, technically speaking, this is the second eye. That is technically the fourth dimensional perspective, which also backs up the other kind of theory that I had, saying that the world could be technically a layer. The fourth dimension could be a layer of three-dimensional images, kind of built up around each other. And that's just, I just found this interesting, you know, tell me what you think, physics-wise, is physics good, do you like physics, you know, I thought this was different. If you like this, feel free to tell me you liked it, you know, because I really would like some feedback, because my other videos haven't had feedback, and, you know, it helps to have feedback. I'm not being naggy, well, I am kind of being naggy, but that's the fourth dimension. I've made a cinema, it's a random cinema, yay. So if you like that, feel free to subscribe and like and stuff, whatever. And please feel free to, if you disagree with me, write about it, you know, make a comment saying, oh, your theory sucks, you know. There's the idea that, I've already come up with one of the possible things that someone could say. Someone could say, wah wah, wine wine, bitch bitch, moan moan. Can't see it. You can't see anything in the two-dimensional or one-dimensional kind of perspective, can you really? We live solely in a 3D world. Technically, you can't see the fourth dimension, because it shouldn't really exist, because the second and first dimension exist already. But I can kind of counter that with the idea that we're kind of built, inverted commas built, to experience the world through a three-dimensional perspective, hence the two eyes and the fact that our bodies are three-dimensional in order to interact with other three-dimensional objects. If we were kind of designed, or if we were able to kind of, you know, physically interact with four-dimensional objects, then, you know, we'd be built towards it, you know, more built towards it anyway. More, you know, we'd actually be four-dimensional ourselves. That's about it. The conclusions I could draw from this is that, from this thing, is maybe scientists have been getting it wrong. In order to see the fourth dimension, we need to actually try viewing it through a fifth dimensional perspective. And I thought that's quite interesting, especially from this perspective theory that I've had the idea of. And another one was, yeah, the series of 3D layers put together. I thought that would be an interesting concept. Technically proves that I think this theory could prove that, you know, the fourth dimensional perspective certainly exists. I'm not sure about the actual fourth dimension though. So tell me what you think, if you want to argue, whatever, and I've been dragging this on way too long. So, see you whenever you want to click on another one of my videos, and hurrah, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.